Hypnosis works, transforming the mind.
Hi there, I'm Hendrik Baird, a practicing non-medical hypnotherapist currently based in Pretoria, South Africa. I'm always curious to learn more about hypnosis, and so I thought, what better way to learn than to chat with other hypnotherapists to gain some insights into what they do and how they work. So join me as we explore the fascinating world of the mind and of hypnosis. And this morning I am talking to Leanne Pillay, who's all the way in KwaZulu-Natal. Leanne, thank you very much for joining me for this podcast.
Thank you, Hendrik, for this opportunity.
So tell me a little bit about the history. How did you get to know about hypnosis and how did you get into the thing?
The beginning was the book Many Lives, Many Masters. I'm not sure if you heard of it. It's a book on past life regression. So I was in a bad space in my life where I met a car accident and the physio offered me that book. And when I read it, it just opened my mind to new possibilities. I was looking for a regression practitioner in Durban, and that's how I found John. Initially, I couldn't regress or have a past life regression, so I was in a depressed state because of the accident, but because also I have a problem with my sight, with my vision. So in that state of depression, he did normal hypnotherapy for me, helping me through it, accessing my subconscious mind, getting me into a better space. And that's how I was introduced to hypnosis. At the time, I didn't pursue a career in it because I was hell-bent on getting into past lives. My career was in law at the time. The interest from there grew, and that's when I studied life coaching and then past life regression and then hypnotherapy.
So you studied with John. Tell us a little bit about the training and what it all encompasses and what you learned there.
Okay. Yes, I did study with John. I started my journey with John, I think, for studying in 2014. John is an amazing teacher. And the hypnotherapy was getting into your subconscious mind, making behavioral changes there. We first do a 5-day course. It's an intensive 5-day course where you learn the basics of hypnotherapy, usually learning about weight loss and stop smoking and things like that. At that time, there was a 1-year course straight afterwards, which I did, which was advanced hypnotherapy, where you learn about past lives, depression, bipolar, and, specialized fields of hypnosis.
Now, a lot of people that I've spoken to said that, they did the training, but it was also a transformation process for themselves, that they learned something about themselves that they hadn't been aware of before. Was that the same for you?
Yes, it was. It was. I'm a transformational life coach. So between the hypnotherapy and the life coaching, I definitely grew spiritually in self-development and things like that. So it definitely was. You learn how to calm your own mind before you try to do so for someone else. You learn how to change your own behavioral patterns, which is important. So you grow as you have your client base as well.
So when did you finish your studies?
With John, it was in 2015. I finished my advanced hypnosis. So I'm doing it for about 6 years now.
And then did you start a practice after that, or you just did it as a hobby?
I did start a practice. In the beginning, it was more part-time, but for the past 4.5 years, it's a full-time practice.
So tell me a bit about the practice. What is the kind of people that you attract? What is the thing that you see the most of?
Okay, so my modalities in my practice is life coaching, as I mentioned earlier, hypnotherapy, and past life regression. So let's talk about the hypnotherapy. Before COVID, it was depression, anxiety, stress, weight loss. After COVID, it was more anxiety and also COVID-related grief and things like that. Past life regression is also a very big part of my niche in my practice. So I do a lot of past life regression.
Tell me, you're saying things have changed because of COVID. Has the business also changed? Do you see more people? Do you see less people? How has COVID influenced your business aspect?
Okay, last year when it was the hard lockdown and we had to do online sessions, it was a big change for me because I'm not techno savvy, and so I had to learn how to use Zoom and online platforms, and I did do it online for about 3 or 4 months. Once things eased and we were able to see face-to-face, I do see more face-to-face than I do online. So that helps. I prefer face-to-face, but online works just as well.
I've heard a lot of people say that Zoom actually works quite well. You've got to manage it differently, apparently, than
Yes,
you
yes,
do your normal sessions. How does it
yes.
differ?
As long as you have a good connection, I don't think there's too much of a difference because you send out the info forms and all of that beforehand. So in the session, you can do your normal intake and you can start it as long as your camera's facing properly and all of that. It's like the same as having being in person. So I think the network connection is the biggest worry.
Do you also see people now from further afield than just your immediate area?
I do. And I think that's what lockdown has opened up is I do see people from Cape Town, Johannesburg, and I did have a few international clients as well. COVID definitely took us out of our comfort zones, which is good.
I want to come back to the past life regression in a moment, but,
Sure.
but while we're talking about the business aspect of hypnosis, when we were training, a lot of people said, don't give up your day job. And as you said, you did it part-time in the beginning. Is it worth doing full-time? Is there enough clients to be able to make a living off it?
Yes, there is. There is. I do two. I do have two modalities. So I am a life coach and a hypnotherapist. So between the two, I do make a good living out of it. There's so much need for hypnotherapy. So I think it's more about how we market ourselves and get ourselves out there.
And how do you market yourself?
With hypnotherapy, it started with word of mouth and referrals. I do market myself on Facebook and on Body and Mind platforms and things like that. I could probably do a lot more in that regard, but that's the way I do it now.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about past life regressions before we get to life coaching, which I also am very curious about. Some people say, there's no evidence that we've lived before. So how can you do a past life regression? What is it? Is it just an imaginary thing? Is it you tapping into your forefathers' memories, your cellular memory? What is it? How do we explain it?
I must say, usually when it comes to past life regressions, I always attract the clients that already or know about it or have an interest in it. It's not something that I generally will refer, let's do a past life regression on you. They find me, which is weird, but they find me because that's their interest. So that explanation I didn't have to give often. But all I say is you do not have to believe in it. But after the process, if you find a difference or an improvement, then you'll know that it works. It's not necessary to have this huge belief in it, but you should be open to it, which is important. Personally, I do believe in past life regressions. I was brought up Hindu, so reincarnation was something that was not something that I had to challenge or worry about. For people that don't believe in it, is when you see the results, then you'd know. As we know as hypnotherapists, your imagination is the doorway to your subconscious. It does in the beginning feel like you're imagining it. And then when there's things that you can't explain or you can explain, but there's no reason behind it, you know that it's something higher or bigger.
When a client comes to you and says, I want to do a past life regression, what is the reason they would usually give? Just because I'm curious or because I've got a problem that I think is that it starts from somewhere in a previous life that I can't remember?
Usually when clients call in for a past life regression, it's some of the times it's out of curiosity, but a lot of the time it's because they've read up on it or they heard about it or they read a famous book on it. So they think that problems in this life is resulting from issues in a past life. So the first thing I ask is whether they have those issues in this life, because so that we can work on it using normal hypnotherapy. But if there's this huge curiosity or they just know that it's a past life issue, then we go and see. There are clients that won't regress, even though we'll go through the whole process. And then it's a present life issue and we can work with it using hypnotherapy. There are a lot of those that do go into past lives and find healing there.
Do they all become Cleopatra in a past life or is it that you're sometimes surprised where they go?
You're surprised where they go. They go to different countries, different times. It's the most exciting journey, actually. Every time it's almost like you reliving someone's past life. Yeah, different countries. A lot of the time for me, it's been Germany, 1800s, 1700s, Europe, those European countries. But yeah, there are times that they go to a place that they can't describe and it feels like they're in air and things like that. So you just allow them to go through their process and they find the healing. Past lives is a very spiritual process. So that also is an aspect to it. It opens their doorway to their own spirituality.
Talk to me about the process of how you get somebody through a past life regression. Obviously, it's not you come in for a session and we immediately jump into the past life. You've got to train them a certain way or is it different to what I'm expecting?
It's the same way you would do a normal hypnotherapy, getting them to relax their body, relax their mind. And then instead of going to your normal session, you take them into a past life. In order for me to explain it, you relax the body, you relax the mind, and then you use the exact same process, but then you go to a previous life where something would have been happened or caused, or the root of something. Sometimes you just take them on a journey and their mind will open up to it. So it's I don't know how to explain it with it not sounding too difficult.
What I'm asking is, do you need to train the client first to be able to, speak with finger movements or do a positive regression so that they know kind of the process and what to expect before you take them on a full past life? Or do you just jump in?
Okay, so, well, you explain beforehand. You'd explain that when I speak to you, this is how it works. If you can speak, and they speak. So you don't need hand gestures so much because they will speak to you as normal. So they will speak to you. You just explain certain things like, you can pick up your hand if you're having any difficulties, or when you see the eyes of someone there, you'd know who they are in your current life. So there's certain tips you would give them beforehand, so they understand the process. So yes, that's like your normal intake, how you would normally explain a normal hypnotherapy session. You did do the same for a past life regression.
Tell me, was there like a very interesting case where somebody went to a very interesting past life that was unexpected for you?
I think one of the first times that I regressed someone, and it was a young boy when I say young, he was 23 years old, and he was having control issues. He wanted to control everything. He wanted to be, an anger because of that control issues. And I suggested at the time that we do hypnotherapy, but he really wanted to do past life regression. And we did. And he went to a lifetime in Germany when he was one of a police officer or one of these guards during the time of Hitler. So he was in the camps, and he was in the camps where they were gassing the children. So he was head of that camp. And there was a lot of anger at what he did in that place. And he wasn't able to control it. And a lot of those issues came up for him. It was a long time ago, so I can't remember it quite clearly, but it was one of my most interesting times because I read a lot about Germany and Hitler, and seeing someone relive that and feel the pain he wasn't in pain, it was the pain he caused or was a part of. So that was a very interesting story for me.
So that must be shocking for a client to realize, I was a terribly bad person in a past life and I'm kind of bringing some of that karma with me.
Yes. And then we had to work on self-forgiveness and issues that he could do now to rectify that. And he already was, in his head, he wanted to work with kids, but he didn't know why and how. So that gave him some insight upon that.
So tell me about life coaching, because I know quite a few hypnotherapists don't only do hypnosis, they do these other modalities like NLP or life coaching or things like that. Tell me about your life coaching journey. Okay,
my life coaching is also working with the subconscious mind, so that helps. It's NLP life coaching, so I do use NLP processes. It's a little different from hypnotherapy where it's a program. So with my life coaching, it's a 15-hour program where we work through your inner conflict, all of your negative emotions, your limiting beliefs that hold you back, like I am not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm not good enough, and then your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and instilling unconditional self-love. So it's a mindset change program. Using NLP. We use NLP and mind processes for that.
And where did you train for that?
I trained for that in Pretoria, a transformational life coaching academy.
Okay. So NLP is very interesting to me. I'm reading up on it now. I sort of have a vague idea what it's all about, and I was speaking to somebody else recently in the UK who was telling me I must read a specific book about NLP, which I'm now slowly but surely working through. It seems there's a lot of correlation between the things we use or the processes we use in hypnotherapy and NLP.
No, there is a huge correlation. I know our hypnotherapist coach, John Dutton of Samha, he uses NLP and other stuff in his hypnotherapy. So and he says that it's a combination of modalities, which that's what makes the hypnotherapy so powerful. So there's a lot of NLP is broad spectrum, but there's a lot of processes there that you can use.
Yeah, because I was reading about anchoring the other day, and I mean, that's something we do sort of in session one with a client, just anchor this great feeling between your fingers, and whenever you want to bring it back, just press your fingers together and you'll reconnect to that. So it seemed very familiar.
And we do that.
Way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's something I also do in my coaching, and I also use in hypnotherapy as well. So yes.
Okay, so your coaching, you say it's like a set program. You go through X amount of sessions and you work through a certain process.
Yes.
How many sessions do you usually work with a client in hypnosis?
We always say to a client that you must give yourself at least 3 sessions so you can see a difference and you can see improvement before, and then you can decide from there whether you need to do more or that's enough. Having 1 session and expecting a miracle, that's not possible. So I say, and I know a few of my colleagues as well, say at least 3 sessions. But also it depends. For smoking and things like that, 3 sessions can be enough. When you're working with long-term depression and stuff, you would need more than 3. But 3 sessions will help you know whether this is working for me or it's not,
Yeah, because as you say, some people want a miracle. I've had a lifetime of problems, but I want you to sort it out in 1 hour.
Yes. So up front, I let you know that, 1 session will not be enough. You can look for maybe another modality if that's the case. But what you should feel after your first session is calm and relaxed and a little better than you did when you came in. And that's an improvement.
Okay. So hypnosis, I also want to ask you if there was, hang on, no, let me just rethink that question. I've asked you that already.
No problem.
Don't worry, I edit all of this later on and make it sound fabulous.
Thank God.
Cutting out all the ums and ahs, it always helps.
Because I feel like I'm rambling at some point.
No. So I have encountered a lot of people with very negative attitudes towards hypnosis. They want to pray for me because obviously the devil is working through me or things like that. Have you found that there's a misconception that it's evil and that we're doing bad work? And how do you counter that?
I think in the beginning of my career, I encountered a lot of that. I must say now I seem to attract more broad-minded people. So I don't really have to go into explaining that to my clients. But in the beginning, I did. And I think all I could explain was it's actually a calm, relaxing process where it's not me having control over your mind, but me giving you control and power over your mind. So using imagination, visualization, suggestive therapy. I can't make you quack like a duck or things like that. I don't have the power, but I can give you power over your mind. So it seemed to be the simplest way that I could explain it to clients.
Yeah, because I was saying to a client the other day, he was saying to me, you put demons into people. I said, but how many people have you met that are actually possessed by demons who have been to a hypnotherapist? No, he didn't know of any. So I said, but then where does that idea come from? Where do we get these misconceptions from? Is it from movies? Is it from religious organizations? I'm not quite sure.
I remember, this is probably a little controversial, but I remember during my hypnotherapy exam, it was the advanced hypnosis exam. One of the questions that we had to talk about or do, I wasn't sure if it was a recording or an essay, was on how hypnosis is similar to a church service, and where you put someone into a calm, relaxed state and you do suggestive therapy, and it's similar to a church service. And so when I explain it to a client, I always say it's just when you drive on autopilot, when you're listening to music and you feel yourself going into a deep trance, or when you completely relax. Those are hypnotic states. And that's exactly the state we use. There are people, we know and we hear of, there are people that use hypnosis for things that are not so positive. So yes, you have to be aware of that. But with our hypnotherapist, we follow a code of ethics. So we are only allowed to do things for the best of your, for your benefit. So using things to help you get to where you need to be. You can't take away from the bad because there's always bad. And people will say, I had this bad experience with a hypnosis practitioner or hypnotherapist. And then what do you say? So you can only quote on what you know, which is how that you follow a code of ethics and things like that.
Yeah, because I was also saying to somebody, if I had to put demons into every single person that I meet in my practice, how am I supposed to run a profitable business here? Business will die within a week.
Yes. And I think that's what helps having a body. Like I know at Somehow we follow a code of ethics and we can be reported or, complained against. And that helps because then clients know that you're doing it from the best possible place. So that helps.
So tell me about the support. You're talking about that now, the support that Somehow gives you. Do they give extra training? Are there awards? How does all of that work once you've qualified?
Okay. So, as I said, it was a while ago, but there is the best amount of support. John himself is there all of the time to support you whenever you need help. You can message him, you can email him, and he always responds, which is very helpful. It was an integral part of my journey. What I really am proud of being a part of Somehow was I'm a life coach. And with life coaching, I learned scripts. So I'll be honest, you learn scripts. You have scripts. Every process you follow a script or you follow a book. With John, he allowed you to make your hypnotherapy sessions your own, where there was no scripts. There was tools. There was ways in which you do it. He taught you the tools, but you made it your own. And so each practitioner has their own flair to it, which is wonderful. We also have a good Petra. There's Aiden. There's Heather. Where's a huge support. I know Petra has been an amazing support to me throughout the years. Whenever I had a difficult client or I just didn't know something, she was always there at hand to help me through. So that helped. Also, there's ongoing learning, which John always tries to empower you with. He always offers, new tools, new ways of doing it. And that's very, very helpful. So it's an amazing support system.
Now, hypnosis can be very taxing, and if you see one client after the other, you could be very tired at the end of the day. How do you do your self-care? How do you look after yourself to make sure that you've got enough to give back to a client?
I don't take more clients than I can handle. So if I'm doing both coaching and hypnotherapy on the day, so my coaching sessions are 3 hours. So I would do a coaching session and I would take at least 2 hypnotherapy. If I'm only doing hypnotherapy, I don't take more than 4 to 5 clients that day. In order for me to take care of myself, I meditate, I do self-hypnosis. I also do coaching techniques where I work on myself. I walk, I do yoga. I also don't take clients if I'm not feeling my best, because I have to give off my best. So I need to be my best in order to do that. So if I need time to take off and recuperate and rejuvenate and nourish my own mind, I do that.
And you're talking about meditation. There's this misconception also that it's the same thing as hypnosis. Is it the same, or what are the differences if there are?
I think hypnosis it's not the same. It's similar, but it's not the same. Hypnosis is more structured and more guided to help you deal with the issue that you're working on. Whereas meditation is more a relaxation, getting you calmer. So I've been learning to do silent meditation, just trying to get back into my own spirituality and things like that. So that I've been doing more. I do self-hypnosis where I listen to my voice or Petra's voice or one of my colleagues' voices. So that also helps. So when I'm doing self-hypnosis, then I use, either my own recording or my clients. But my normal meditations involve sitting silently, concentrating on my breath or on a sound or on chanting.
Okay. So if somebody wants to make use of your services, how would they get hold of you?
Okay, so they can call me. It's Leanne Pillay. My number is 082-4044-368. And my email is leepillay83@gmail.com.
And you have a website, Facebook, those sort of things?
I do have a website. It's www.leannepillay.co.za.
Okay. And exactly where are you based, Leanne?
I'm at 56 The Curl, Sunningdale in Durban North. So I'm based in Durban North.
And as you say, you also do online sessions, so it doesn't matter where in the world you are.
No,
you
yes,
can always
I do.
get hold of Leanne, yes.
Yes, you can.
Leanne, one final bit of advice for somebody who's never done hypnosis before and is considering it, but is a little bit skeptical.
Hypnotherapy is one of the most calming, relaxing ways to deal with your emotions and make behavioral changes. It's the one modality that you, even though you are working on your subconscious mind, you don't feel like it's work. You come out of there feeling calmer and more relaxed than in any other process. I can tell you this because I'm a life coach. I work with similar processes, but life coaching is intense and taxing. Whereas hypnotherapy, all you feel like is, the best way for me to explain it is the way I do to a kid. I say that all I'm going to do here is I'm going to tell you a story and you're going to use your imagination to play out the story and you're going to be the hero in the story. And it works the same for a kid or an adult. You're going to be the hero and you're going to do what you need to do to get the best possible results.
That sounds like really great advice. So if you do have some queries, get hold of Leanne and she can certainly help you, whether it's for hypnosis, past life regression, or even just some coaching to get your life back on track. Leanne, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Thank you so much, Hendrik, for this opportunity. I won't lie, it was a little unnerving, but thank you.
Well, I found chatting to my hypnosis colleague very interesting and insightful, and I trust that you did too. Their contact details are in the podcast description, or you can get in touch with them through findahypnotist.co.za. If you want to find out more about me and what I do, please visit my website, hendrikbaird.com. Remember, I release new episodes every Thursday, so be sure to subscribe to my channel. Until we speak again, have a hypnotic day.
Hypnosis works, transforming the mind.